Okay, so this is session number 9, monitoring and controlling. In this session, we are going to discuss about the aspects that's related to controlling and monitoring. Why it is necessary to have control on the activities that we are performing. Why controlling is the main management function. And many of the things that's related to monitoring and controlling will be the part of today's lecture. Okay, so if we talk about learning objectives, the objective number 1 of this session is to explain the nature and importance of control. Then we are going to describe the 3 steps in the control process. Obviously, control is a whole process. So the steps that are associated to the control process will be discussed in this session. We are going to explain how organizational and employee performance are measured. Exactly, the point is to know how to be effective at giving feedback. Then we are going to describe tools which are necessary or which helps us in measuring organizational performance. And then we are having a contemporary issues and control. We are going to discuss it. The reason of discussing contemporary issues is to develop your skill at dealing with different or difficult people. Okay. So now let's begin with the definition. What is controlling? Controlling is the process of monitoring, comparing and correcting work performance. Now what does it actually means? It means that if we have done some tasks, we are planned with some activities that we have to achieve organizational goals, we have to be effective, we have to be efficient, and we are in the process of executing those activities. So now, obviously, how we are going to identify that whether we are going in the right direction or not. So that's why controls comes in. The significance of controlling is that it helps us in monitoring our activities, in comparing it with the actual, that what we were planned with and what we are actually executing, and if there is a gap, so how we have to correct it. This is what the controlling process is. Now if we talk about the purpose of control, why we have to control, so it's very simple, that we have to ensure the activities, we have to ensure that our all activities that we are performing, that we are completing, that leads us to the accomplishment of organizational goals. Obviously we are, all of us, when we are performing in an organization, so we are having commitment to the organizational goals. We look forward to accomplish our goals which benefits the organization. So that's why we have to ensure that we are controlling our activities, and we are, all of the employees including the managers and vice presidents, directors, all should be in same page. So why controlling is important? This is a very important aspect of controlling, that why controlling is having its own significance. So as we have discussed in the first chapter as well, when I was telling you and in my lecture, that management function is based on planning, leading, controlling, etc., etc. So controlling was the last function. Why controlling is important? As the final link in the management function, number 1 is planning. Control let manager know whether their goals are plans on the target and what future actions are required to be taken. Then we are having, controls help us in empowering our employees. Control system provide managers with information and feedback on employee performance. Obviously, if we are not having any feedback system, if we are not having any any idea that what's happening, so then we will obviously face problems in empowering our employees. So control systems, gives an edge to the managers, that it helps us in gaining information and feedback on the performance of the employees. Then it helps us in protecting the workplace. Control enhance physical security and help minimize workplace disruptions. For example, if anybody in the workplace is facing some issues and we are seeing that the performance is not up to the mark, so we go with the help of the controlling, we easily identify that where the issue is, uh, an employee is facing, and how we have to control, how we have to provide him the security if it's any security reason, or why he's facing any disruption. So obviously we are going to be very quick in identifying if we control our practices. So that's why controlling is a pertinent element. So now this is exhibit 18-1, planning and controlling link. See, as we have discussed in chapter number 1, that all of the management functions are interrelated with each other. right? The number one function is planning, then we have organizing, then we have leading, and then we have controlling. So this exhibit is actually showing us the linkage between these four functions. In planning, we focus towards our goals, that what are our goals, we decide our objectives, we make strategies, we develop the plans. And after planning, we move towards the organizing function, in which we develop organizational structure. It's exactly that structure that we have discussed in session number 7. Then we organize our human resource management, that how we are going to lead our human resource, our employees, and who has to perform which task. All of the things are the part of organizing function. Then if we are, obviously, we all are humans and we have motivational issues. We need motivations. Everyone is different from each other, so our issues are also varies from person to person and definitely from place to place. So leading is a function that helps us to motivate the employee force, workforce. Then we have to ensure the leadership styles, quality, how we have to lead in certain situations. Then we should be we should be in a stage of communicating with our employees, clear communication, effective communication. Then we have to monitor individual and group behavior. We have to focus upon all of those things, and then it eventually leads towards controlling. Now see, controlling, what makes us what makes this controlling an effective management function, because it focuses on the standards. What we have, the standards that we are with, we have to see our standards. If we are facing any issue, we have to measure our actual performance and the desired one that we were looking forward for. We have to compare that whether we are on track or not, and if in case we are not on track or we still require some improvement, so we have to take some corrective measures. And that how this circle, this planning controlling links goes on. It's interrelated.